Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals, and today I have got a best of one game. It's from the ladder and between a cool Protoss and an awesome Zerg player. So let's get straight into this and introduce the two players spawning. In the top right position we've got the red Protoss player from Root Gaming. It's puCK. She's facing off against the blue Zerg in the bottom left from Team Evil Geniuses, Suppy. And I zoomed in just as that drone popped. It was so loud in my ears. I hope it wasn't too deafening for anyone watching with headphones. And if it was, I apologize profoundly. And I'm deeply sorry about that. It was a complete accident, I promise. Now, as we can see, Pylon coming down here for puCK, just on the low ground. Daybreak is a safe map to go for an expansion on. Gateway expands. On this map, I don't like quite so much because the rush distance is so long that by ground, you don't really gain as many benefits as you do just by getting down your natural quite nicely. But for Suppy, he went for an extractor trick. That's fine, no problems with getting an extractor trick down, just makes you look more cool. And if you look more cool in the early stages of the game, maybe some of you lovely viewers will start cheering for him right now and be like, yeah, Suppy, you went for that extractor trick, you look so baller, maybe you can win this. I don't know who will win this actually, because puCK, she's got some really awesome plays. Suppy, good quality players, we all know as well. So when we're looking at it that way, trying to work out who's the best can just be a little bit tough, and therefore I think it should be quite an even game, and that always makes things more fun. Oh, the probe does manage to get away. Oh, the probe. Clever probe. Do that nice little minimal walking trick, getting to safety, coming down here and saying, Suppy, I'm going to block the hell out of your hatchery right now as revenge for that. I have no doubt that's what's going to occur. Here we go, the patrol command already down, the drone being like, okay, let's take a hatch. Let's take a hatch. Let's take a hatch. Oh, this probe, yet again, the bane of my life. Will we see a pylon block? No, but we do see the probe block. It's going to do it again. Okay, come on, puCK. How many times can you do this? Okay, 2. Ah, just the 2. Just managed to get down there. Suppy going to be happy with that. Nexus first came down here from puCK. If we look at the Overlord will see the Forge go down, and therefore should be fairly confident that it's going to be a Nexus. There we go. So Nexus first confirmed by this Overlord. Good Overlord, letting, of course, Suppy know precisely what his opponent's doing. That means the third base needs to be thrown down at about the 4 minutes 10 mark, ideally. You can't really get it later than that, because against a Forge then Nexus, you can go to sort of about 4 minutes 20, 4 minutes 30 and still be economically fine. You may want to get 4 Zerglings out rather than 2 if it's Forge first as well, just to make sure you're safe from any cannons. But generally speaking, you want to get a quick third out, really as fast as you can, against the Nexus first, just to make sure that you keep that base advantage if you want as a Zerg player. Now, as you can see, the gateway is on its way, the cannon is also coming down, so things looking very safe. The probe, which was holding the watchtower, will get forced back. We've got the Zergling running about. Here comes down the drone now. This hatchery should get completed at about 4 minutes 15, give or take a second or two, and it's going to be 4 minutes, probably 20 now, so slightly later than Suppy necessarily would have wanted it, but it's not a big deal. As long as it's before the 4 minutes 20 mark, you're pretty much laughing, you're pretty much happy. But obviously I've seen many Zerg players get that third down against the Nexus first at ridiculously early times. I think the earliest I've ever seen was 3 minutes 49 for the third, and that was just like, wow, that is so quick, and ultimately it works well, so no problems there. Really everything looking quite standard. The Cyber Core is on its way. Interesting wall off here actually, the wall off all the way back. That makes an interesting angle. The cannon's got a lot of surface area there, even if Zerglings do get through, and it can cover a bit of the middle line and also this ramp as well. So a really cool wall off way. Lots of players would actually put the wall off more forward, so I like the way that works with the second pylon. So really nice block off there. Of course, the third hatchery is nearly completed for Suppy as well. The Cyber Core, now that's done, we should see the tech revealed shortly what puCK's planning on going for. Getting down the additional third and fourth gas geysers. The sentry on its way out. On Daybreak, what are some good builds? Well, Stargate openings are fine. We've also got Immortal Sentry pushes, really good, so the Robotics Bay opening. Also just flat up Gateway units with a Mothership Core. You can push into this area here, and of course then a Zerg player has to try and come around the back in order to defend. And that's not always so easy to do, and if you do get surrounded as a Protoss, you just mass recall back and you're absolutely fine. So I think there's lots of viable options, and a lot of it does revolve around the Mothership Core actually. So everything apart from a Stargate, I'd like to see that down, but Stargate's what it's gonna be. That means that, oh wow, a Stargate and a robotic facility. That's a really interesting build, getting both at the simultaneous moment. Interested to see how puCK is going to be using these together. Probably just getting an Observer out, as well as probably Phoenix, I would imagine. Oracles on this map, are okay. You can get into the main base, but I really feel Phoenix are superior here, just due to the fact that you can't dart, but there's some space here where you can get the oracles trapped, and it's a little bit awkward. But as you see, the Overlord on its way forward is about to get a complete read. The sentry will not be able to kill the Overlord before it sees the Robo down, and should also spot the Stargate. So there we go, everything now revealed. We do have these, well, the third base up, a couple of drones out, a few Zerglings, 10 actually on the field, so that's quite a few Zerglings at this stage. There sees the Void Ray is coming down. That's really interesting, getting that Void Ray there. Was seen though by Suppy, so that obviously, because you can see what's building in a Stargate, really helpful, and Suppy is therefore able to read a bit more into this and know what he needs to do to counter it, which ultimately, if it was just the Stargate, I'd say Hydras can be quite good, but with this robotics facility already down, there's always the risk that there's going to be a quick Robo Bay, and therefore the Colossus will hit, and if you get Colossus out quickly, going Hydras isn't the best option. But obviously Corruptors are no good against Void Rays, because Void Rays do so much damage to armored units, especially when they trigger Prismatic Alignment. But for the time being, we've got the Lair done, we've got the 3rd and 4th gas being taken as well, sorry, the 5th and 6th gas being taken up in the main, the Zergling's still running around quite nicely, Speed is a 3rd done, and here comes down the Hydra Den. So, as I said, this is fine. The Hydras really counter the Immortals as well as the Void Rays and Gateway units highly effectively. But if a Robotics Bay gets down and Colossus come out, and this is just a bit of a play in order to secure the 3rd quickly, then actually you can run into some issues, because the Colossus really do a lot of damage to the Hydra list, and that's something potentially Suppy does need to watch out for. But as we see, the Mothership Core on its way forward, nothing too dangerous is really coming for him at the moment. Just obviously the Hallucinated Phoenix, the Void Ray is out. There's a 2nd Void Ray on the field as well, just making its way over, and a 3rd in production. Muscular Augment's coming down, and this is now quite a big commitment to these Void Rays, and therefore the Hydra's definitely a good reaction to this, and Suppy really playing this nicely. The 6 additional gateways means there's going to be no Robotics Bay for a long time, just getting started now. So this sort of delay on the Robotics Bay means that there's going to be some really nice Hydra timing windows. 12 Hydras are on their way out. They're going to shut down these 2 Void Rays exceptionally fast. They're actually starting to pop as I speak, and that just means that these Void Rays could potentially get trapped, especially if the Hydras come in at a nice time. Luckily the Void Rays do manage to get back, but timing windows are really wide open now. The Robotics Bay is still 30 seconds away from completion. Then you've got to wait for the Colossus to actually get pumped out of the facility, and that means that lots of time for this Ling Hydra push to move forward. And up against just sentries and a couple of Immortals and Void Rays, the Hydra's going to be such a powerhouse. We've got 8 more in production. Muscular Augments a few seconds away from completing, as well as 10 seconds away from getting +1 missile attack. These are all the sort of timings that puCK is not going to want to be hitting, because once these start coming in, especially before the Colossus comes out, it's going to be so difficult to defend this. But once the Colossus count starts getting higher, obviously those Hydras start melting very fast to the Thermal Lancers, and therefore puCK shouldn't have too much of a problem dealing with it. But 30 more Zerglings on the way out, the Spire as well, plus 2 missile attack. The Mothership Core does get caught out of position, just gets sniped there at the last second. Really good by Suppy. But yeah, the Colossus only half done, needs to get Connor boosted. We've got the War Prison there, but Suppy just waiting for more Zerglings to come through. The 3rd base not being taken, 3 Void Rays are still out. One thing that Suppy does need to do is take out these rocks before moving up, just because otherwise Force Fields will be so much more effective and less will be required. But Suppy not moving up at the time being, just pulling back, really just trying to put the pressure on puCK psychologically that I could be coming up. You know I've got a lot of Hydras. Groove Spine's also coming down, the Spire 3/4 done. The first Colossus is now on the field, but Extended Thermal Lance is still only 3/4 done. If you catch this army out in the center, can be really bad. 17 Roaches, that's going to help soak up a lot of the damage. So Roach Hydra compositions coming down. The Spire could also be used to get a couple of Corruptors in order to help deal with these Colossus. Also, may see a relatively quick tech up into Hive in order to get Vipers. That's another way you can really deal with the Colossus as well, in order to get the Abducts off and get them into the Roach and Hydra forces. But short-term Corruptors are going to be really nice. There is only the single Colossus as well, and that means with a good attack arc, we could see a lot of damage on, and that's exactly what Suppy's trying to achieve. The Force Fields looking really nice there, zoning out so much of the Zerg force, and now just slowly moving forward. puCK biding her time. She's going to be going into this 3rd base. Suppy, he needs to keep that up. The Hydras, unfortunately, on move command there. A lot of them go down to absolutely nothing. The Mothership Core does have enough energy as well for a mass recall. The first Corruptor was revealed. There's 4 there. There's 4 on the field. They need to do some good damage. They need to start floating down. But of course, the Void Rays are going to start shredding through this puCK, doing a nice amount of damage. And yeah, the Void Rays really cleaning up those Corruptors so quickly. The 3rd base taking quite a sizable amount of damage. The Force Fields really good, zoning out so much of this force. Just that single Colossus melting through the Hydralisk, and we can see the puck just dealing so much damage, and Suppy knows he's not going to be able to hold it, and GG's out. That push was brilliant, and really that was the danger of going for the Hydras, is when that Colossus comes out. But the Void Rays dealt with the Corruptors so nicely, that composition out of puck, so nice, so congratulations there. Suppy, of course, did play very well as indeed, but I think maybe if he was just more aggressive, he would have been fine. If he pushed in before that Colossus came out, he could have done a lot of damage. So, well done to both of them. If you enjoyed the cast, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games up daily, so I'll catch each and every one of you tomorrow for another cast. I'm Madals, thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.